Great. Well, thank you for your patience as we switch gears and get ready to see our next 4 companies. If you are just joining us, this is the startup competition, obviously, and we are looking at 16 companies today from a field of more than 400 who applied to be part of this competition and who are now, these 16 are finalists we're hearing from today. We are doing 4 pitch sessions. We're in cycles of 4 with 4 companies each, and each session has its own unique and highly qualified panel of judges. For this session, please welcome our judges, Eric Archambault, who is a general partner with Wellington Partners. Lucas Paradin, please come on out and join us. Lucas is with Hewlett-Packard, running EMEA here, and Eric Lamending from Network, co-founder of Network. There we go. Excellent. So as you may know, our judges will look at and listen to these presentations carefully, judging each on product, team, presentation, and overall quality. We will hear a 6-minute presentation, a pitch from each company, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A, where you can dig deep and give them a good grilling. So to get our second session started, let's please welcome to the stage Timerepublik. Timerepublik, come on up.
Good morning. My name is Olivia. I'm here to tell you about Timerepublik. Can you hear me okay? Timerepublik is the first global time bank. Timerepublik is the first global time bank. Let me tell you about the markets, and then we'll get into Timerepublik. As we're here today at this conference, we're looking at the sharing economy. People are looking for something outside of the traditional market economy right now, and technology is allowing people to come together in a more efficient way in order to come together to create communities, to share, cooperation, all types of sectors that we're seeing, including time banking. Cash to pay for it, or maybe they just want to be cash independent. They can sign on to Timerepublik, create a profile, and then see other people's profiles. First, they search through all different types of sectors of the services they might be interested in. They can figure out the geographic radius. How close do they want the person to be to them in their city or globally? And then they'll have a list of options of people who provide that service that they're looking for, that they can go through, filter in terms of ways they're rated or different types of filters. Then they start a conversation. How do you figure out the logistics of the service? The person performs the service for you, and in the end, you provide them with a certain amount of time hours, which is coordinated with the amount of hours that it took to do that job. There are thousands of time banks out there globally. This is a positive thing. It means that the business model has been proven. At the same time, the markets are very siloed. How is Timerepublik different from all of these? I'll tell you 3 ways. First, quality. We believe that we have the best user experience out there in terms of technology. And more importantly, we're creating a technology and a way of selling this technology that other time banks have not done. This is a white label system that we call gray labeling, because each white label system that we can market to a specific group is under the Timerepublik umbrella, and the users within each of those groups can interact within their groups or between groups, between each other. This allows us to do sales and marketing on the ground to different institutions, organizations, where people are already interacting amongst each other face-to-face, but we can get them online to interact more efficiently, as well as to then meet each other through different groups around the world. For example, co-working spaces, startup incubators, places where innovators like us want to come together. We have skills, but we need resources. A lot of startups are cash-strapped. What do? Create that community globally where we can find each other and exchange resources for time. Universities, another place. Each university can have a place where students find each other to tutor each other. No more paying for tutoring. Everyone has the opportunity to learn better. This also works in nonprofit networks and volunteer networks. The second way we're unique is this global feature that I mentioned. Time banks are very locally based right now. Through this gray label model that I mentioned, we're able to bring the time banks together under one user experience that, because most time banks are nonprofits, they might not necessarily have the best technology, but also allowing them to help their users that are already interested in time banking to also find each other and grow those networks. In order to grow globally, we're getting people on the ground in each country to do face-to-face sales and online marketing specific to the local culture. In comparison to competitors, we believe that through various characteristics, we have the optimum model. The third way we're unique, as I mentioned, is becoming a viable business rather than an NGO, as most time banks are right now. This is through a diversified array of revenue streams. By aggregating all the users, we're able to provide advertising firms with contextualized advertising for users. For example, Facebook is successful with advertisers because advertisers are very interested in finding people that have profiles that show exactly what they're interested in. So they make sure that they only show that advertisement to people that would be interested in the product. Through Timerepublic, this is one step further because people are actually actively searching for that service when they see the ad. Another way that we can achieve revenue stream is through data sales to two types of groups. First, headhunters and HR departments at companies that are looking for ways to find and screen employees. This is similar to looking at LinkedIn or people's Facebook profiles. Through Timerepublic, you can see how people were rated and have peer-to-peer information about how that person did in various services that they've offered through Timerepublic. Another way is selling consumer demand data, transaction data based on geographic location and sector to understand for marketing firms and economic research firms to understand what's going on with these types of transactions outside of the market. We can also sell a premium version of the software as software as a service to companies to use to connect their employees within the company. We also have a freemium mobile app. It's free to get the app sales up, and then you can upgrade to a paid model. We also have unique sponsorship opportunities. Who are we? We have an international and diversified team. We also are able to crowdsource our growth. As I mentioned, how do you go global? We can't just throw out a bunch of viral marketing online. So as I mentioned, we have people on the ground. Each manager in the country is able to then manage people that are going to be crowdsourced marketing this in sales and marketing through two ways. Users can find other users, bring them onto Timerepublic, and gain time units as compensation for doing so. They can also find advertisers in their local communities and put advertising on Timerepublic and gain a percentage of the revenues. Right now, we're in public beta. We launched closed beta in December and public beta 2 months ago. This means that as of 2 months ago, you can sign up on timerepublic.com and start exchanging. People are already doing so. We have over 2,200 users and 100 transactions. We've raised 450K euros right now. Most of it has been going to technology. We're looking for 1.5 million to finish some technology play. The group, the gray label that I mentioned will be done in about a month. We also have, that capital will also be put towards online and offline sales and marketing on the ground. We need to get this out to people. Right now, it's been through press. But our next step, we want to get people on the ground selling this as soon as possible to iterate.
So let's go to our Q&A, since we've run out of time, and allow our judges to ask some questions, to deep dive on any of the things that maybe the timer was not gracious enough to allow you to finish.
Thank you.
Judges, questions? And if you just grab one of the mics there.
Yeah, I have a question. It's around privacy. I mean, and everything we saw before, and one of the startups that was presenting before was, talking about how users are more and more getting scared about sharing their lives and sharing their information with all these apps. And if I look at your proposal, it's even going further because I'd have to put my skills and everything in there. And then your proposal is to monetize this with the contextual advertising. So how do you deal with that? What do you tell to users? How do you make them feel comfortable about the amount of information they share with you about their lives?
Every field of your profile has a traffic light, and you can set your profile as private, public, or semi-public. Semi-public, it means that your profile is going to be shown only to the person that is doing the deal with you. Otherwise, if you want to remain private, you're private, except few data like your name or last name or your location, not your address, but your location, let's say the city. So in that way, users are feeling comfortable to show whatever they want to show.
And in your 2,000 users right now, what's the share of public versus private? And
pretty much everybody sets their status as semi-private and some information public. And then they like to share their services between people that already know each other, or anywhere else. But yeah, as I said, it's semi-private. So only once you contact that person and you decide to start a conversation, that is going to be shown.
Okay. Eric, had a
Yeah,
question.
I had a basic question. I'm not familiar with the term time bank. That's new to me. How is it differentiated from barter? And the reason I ask is that barter is one of these murky areas, especially in the U.S. as far as taxation and so forth. So how do you answer that side?
So bartering is in the same zone in terms of IRS as alternative currencies. And the reason for that is there are a couple characteristics that the IRS takes in order to characterize things as either barter or alternative currencies as opposed to time banks. The way that barter and alternative currencies integrate within the market economy is through an exchange rate with a dollar, right? So if you have any alternative currency, there's some type of exchange rate, whereas with time, the value of the service is not what's being valued is not the service, but the person performing the service. So for example, if I'm going to spend an hour doing computer programming for you, there's a market price for that, which you would barter me something of equal market price, or you would pay me alternative currency that's relative to the US dollar for that service. With time banking, I get 1 hour. So if I'm going to do that for you, or if I'm going to walk your dog, I'm still going to get 1 hour. So that's how it's outside of the market economy. And the IRS then distinguishes that as motivation for community building rather than me performing that service for you specifically because I'm looking for cash. Another way is whether or not you sign a contract. So basically it's just trust, and so they consider that an out of the market interaction. Another one is the level of professionalism. So time banking includes a lot of things that have been externalities to the market, which is one of the reasons I'm really interested in time banking, because we have all of these externalities of people providing value to each other without them being accurately compensated. And so this is a way for people to be compensated, obviously outside of the market because there's just no space for them in that sense, with another unit, as well as people who could be compensated in the market but want to be involved in a community in a different way.
So if you drill down to your use cases, which ones are really working and which ones don't work at all?
What we first believed that we would work with more like an artisan community, but actually we're seeing that actually high-scale people are using Timerepublik, so we were kind of surprised ourselves. So we're trying to adjust.
Like what?
Like computer programmers or like graphic designers. Mostly, I would say online services. So people are feeling actually more comfortable to exchange a service because you have to gain trust, and if I have to come to your house, you really want to trust the platform, so it has to be out there for a little longer than a month. So what we're seeing right now is mostly online services, like as I said, web designers, programmers, or translations, or
like 90% of the success cases.
I would say 90% right now. Yes.
I'd also say, is this on? I'd also say right now we've done a lot of online marketing and we've been coming out in the press in certain locations. So the on-the-ground sales that we're going to be doing is going to be activating different areas of the economy, different consumer markets that haven't yet been marketed to, that don't yet know about Timerepublik. So we're looking for diversification after we really get sales on the ground.
Excellent. We have run out of time. I'm sorry. Is it really fast and really fast answer? I'll give you a minute.
No, and what happens if someone really is off balance from his credit, debit, and on time?
Of course, to gain time, you have to give a service, but we have also other alternatives. You can invite people. If I send you a link and you register through the link, you gain 30 minutes. So we have different ways to gain time, even if you don't want to do a service. Once you log in, you get 5 hours credit, and once you're done with that, of course, you have to exchange a service or find this.
Excellent. So for further questions, our judges and the audience will be able to find you in your stand, but thank you very much for your presentation today. All right, take care. And do remember that by following the QR code, you can chime in with your own opinions and judging.